Hi everyone. Welcome to the season 7 episodes of All About Buffy. I've been sitting here for a little while, trying to decide whether or not to give up on filming right now or power through. And I've kind of decided that I want to try to keep going, but not stop for any background noise, because otherwise it's just not going to work today, and I've only got an hour of daylight left. So I'm just going to keep going, and I apologize for all of the background noise. There's been a dog, there's been several planes, there has been cars or bikes, whatever that is. There's been some sort of tapping sound, like we don't really have woodpeckers around here, but something that made a similar noise. It's been a lot in a very short amount of time. So I just need to power through, because it's taken me a lot to get to this point right now. And I don't just want to stop. Now, it has been over a month since I filmed anything at all. So, in all likelihood, this is gonna need another take anyway. So this will just be my practice take, maybe. But what is the point of a practice tape if it is quite probably going to take another month before I can film take 2? Okay, we're powering through. So obviously we're daytime filming. Okay, so we've seen this attire before, but I'm dressed for warmth. I would normally not wear a turtleneck with a hoodie, but we're dressed for warmth. I've got this hoodie on again because it's just so warm, because it's fleece lined. But it's fitting. It's the girl power hoodie, and I think that the girl power is very central to this season and the finale. So it's fitting, but I'm honestly just dressed for more warmth. Okay, my 2 disclaimers, but honestly, does it even matter at this point? Spoiler alert, and these are opinions, not facts. That's about it. Okay, so season 7. It's the green box. It stands out quite a bit in the collection. A lot of makeup on Buffy again, which I don't really get because I don't really remember her wearing a lot of makeup this season. You know, in the season 6 case, we had the Once More with Feeling episode, so it kind of made sense, but now I don't really remember. But it's not super strange that I don't remember either, because I don't watch this season a lot. I don't like season 7, and it's kind of complex because I love the way the series ended, but I don't like the season. I don't like the season at all. But I do really like the way the final episodes play out and the actual finale. You know, so Touched, End of Days, Chosen. I really like those, and I just love the way they ended the season. I was very happy with it. I was very content. I thought it was beautiful, touching, fitting, you know, funny, bittersweet. But I don't like the season overall. So I'm really curious how these videos are going to go and how I'm going to make sense of that. But so I don't watch season 7 a lot. I would say I watch it more than season 1. So when I do a full rewatch, I will quite regularly skip season 1 altogether, and I won't as often skip season 7 altogether. So I've seen it more often than season 1. But I still don't feel like the plot description is going to go well. But we'll see. So, as usual, I will do a plot description, and then I will be talking about the characters and some of my favorite episodes, or maybe least favorite, you know, just some memorable episodes. So let's get my list out. Final season here, season 7. And I don't really know if the list is going to do me much good this time, because I don't have a strong connection between the episodes and the episode titles. I don't really know what happens in which episode, you know, with the exception of certain episodes like Same Time, Same Place, Selfless, Him, Conversations with Dead People, Showtime, and then the last final episodes. But most of them, I don't really know. Okay, so the plot description. I am going to do things a little differently than I did with the previous seasons, because I don't like this season very much, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave out most of the plot lines with Spike, all of the plot lines with Principal Wood, all of the plot lines with Andrew and Jonathan, Um, yeah, yeah. So I'm just not gonna talk about those things unless like something, a detail comes up somewhere. I'm just not gonna talk about that, and I'm just gonna stick to Buffy and the first and just the main plot line. And so I didn't do that in the previous seasons because those side plots, I really liked them. And I wanted to include them, all of it. In this case, couldn't care less. So I'm just gonna not talk about them. Okay, yeah. Let's get started. So, season 7 begins with lessons, and basically, the high school, Sunnydale High School, is rebuilt, and Buffy and Dawn is starting school in the new rebuilt Sunnydale High School, which they built on the exact same place as before, so it's still on the Hellmouth. But yeah, so Dawn is starting school there, and that's kind of the opening. I think we meet Principal Wood in that episode, and sort of like from the beginning, it's sort of like teased. Is he evil? Is he good? What is he? But and I don't know if it's in this episode already or if it comes later on, but he offers Buffy a job at the high school as a guidance counselor. So that is Buffy's job in the season, part-time, and that, comes back in several episodes. So we also learn early on that Willow is in that Willow is in England. See, it's already not going well. Suddenly I thought, is she in England? Was that the beginning of season 6 that she's in England? Of course not, because she went dark side at the end of season 6. So yeah, this is gonna go well. Okay, so we learn quite early on that Willow is in England with Giles at a coven, and she is in recovery, in dark magic recovery, and doing that. And we also learn quite early on that Spike is back, and he is insane in the basement. Spike's what? In the what-ment? He's insane in the basement. Okay, so in the basement of the high school, he has his soul and he's gone. That's kind of how the season is set up. We do learn quite early on what the big bad is going to be. From beneath you, it devours. So we are up against the first evil. So the first evil is an entity, I guess. Is it? Is it alive, or is it just aware? Or I don't know. It's a non-corporeal evil. Big overture, little show. And it is just that, the first evil. So we have heard of the first evil before in season 3 in Amends, because it's the first evil that tried to get Angel to unalive himself. Right? Whatever. And so it's back, it's not happy, it's like, I am done with this whole balance shit. Done with the balance. I would like to just have the upper hand and I'm just done. I'm done with the balance. And I get that. I can respect that, because I'm going to put this down because it's, do you hear that? It's like, yeah. So, and I get that, I get that. It's like with the world as it is, it's not going well, but it's just like going well enough that people are just placated into living their life, and there's just like this precarious balance that feels like it could just tip at any moment. And I also feel like just fucking tip over already. Like, burn it down. Just burn it down already. I'm done. I am so over wanting to try to fix the world. Just burn it down. It's unfixable. We are beyond being able to fix it. Burn it down is my stance. So I understand where the first evil is coming from. I can understand that it's just like, there's evil and there's good, and good fights back and good wins, but just for like a week, and then evil's back, and then good fights back and good wins for like another day, and then it's back. What's the point of all that? So I get it. And I don't think that the first evil is a unsuccessful big bad, but I do feel that it's an unsuccessful big bad. This is just my feeling with season 7. Why is there a mosquito? It is mid-December. See, this is what I mean. Just burn it down. Just burn it down. It is over there. I'm gonna see if I can kill it. I don't know if I got it, and it's gonna keep bothering me because I'm the only thing emitting heat in this entire house right now. So just gonna make sure that it doesn't fly in my ear. Okay, where was I? Okay, so this is just how I feel about the entirety of season 7. It's just, it works, but it doesn't work. But it works, but it doesn't work. We're gonna have a lot of that here. So the first evil is the big bad. The first evil is non-corporeal, but it is able to it is able to appear to you in the form of dead people. So at first we mainly see Spike talking to it because it is appearing to him in the form of Buffy mainly. And that brings us to conversations with dead people, which I think is a super interesting episode. It's one of my favorite episodes of the season, where most of the main characters have a conversation with a dead person, which is the first evil, which is trying to just kind of break their spirit and just wreak some havoc. But I'm going to talk about that episode a little more when I talk about episodes. So somewhere in the first half of this season, they realize that young girls are being killed all over the world. And they realize that these girls that are dying are being killed, through the first evil. And they are potential slayers. And so all of these girls have the potential to be a next slayer. So what the first evil is trying to do is end the entire slayer bloodline by killing all of these girls. And that's why I said that the girl power thing is very present in this season, because the potentials are a very big thing in this season, and so the house keeps filling with these young girls, and they also have an important part to play in the finale. So I don't like the potentials, but I do like what happens to the potential. So I really don't like it. I don't like that this is a thing and that these girls keep showing up. But I do love how they resolve all of that in the finale, which I'll get to. So they figure that out, and so they start to find these potentials and save them. Willow is back. Meanwhile, Giles comes back at one point and he brings some potentials. I think that's how they figure it out, because he suddenly shows up with 3 girls or something. I don't remember. So these potentials are staying at their house and Buffy's training them. Another thing that happens somewhere in this first season is Andrew is an idiot, and I don't want to talk about it. So the Hellmouth, the seal of the Hellmouth is like activated so that the first is able to open it, and an uber vamp crawls out. So like a side big bad in this season are the Durakan vampires, and they are like similar to like the first vampires that roamed the earth or whatever, I don't know. But they're like ancient vampires. They're much stronger. They're much more primitive. They don't have language. Well, they don't have human language. They don't look human. They're just like uber vamps. And so they're super strong and they kick everyone's ass at first. And so it's all really scary. And then I think it's in Showtime that Buffy takes out the potentials that they have staying at their house at that time, and gives them a show and gives them a speech. There's a lot of speeches this season, and I don't hate them. It gives them like a speech and a show on how she's a badass, and they can fight this, and they can kill this, and they can win. And she kills a Turakan vampire like in front of them to kind of give them hope and give them motivation to keep believing in her and keep believing in themselves. Because that is the thing this season, is everybody's constantly doubting Buffy. So it starts very early on. Nobody trusts Buffy. Trusts her judgment, trusts her leadership, any of that. And it fucking annoys me to no end. Like, she's proved herself by now, okay? So, but we'll get to that. So Buffy kills Turakan. The Turakan aren't super like consistently super strong through the series, and I know that's something that people are annoyed by, but honestly, I'm not. I'm annoyed by a lot of other things, like what I just said, how no one is willing to just believe in Buffy except Spike, but I just can't. And I'm annoyed by Kennedy. I'm annoyed by Principal Wood. I'm annoyed by Andrew. I'm annoyed by a lot of things. So the fact that the Turakan's strength isn't consistent is really, really not high on my list of grievances with this season. Okay. So, you know, we've just got some episodes. Buffy's training the potentials. The potentials are annoying. There's some things. Buffy goes on a spirit quest. When does that happen? Stuff. And at one point we meet Caleb. Now, I think probably sort of around when Caleb shows up is that things start looking up for this season. But I'm not sure because I fully do not remember when Caleb shows up. I know he's there in Dirty Girls, But when does he show up and get it done, maybe? I don't know. But so right around the time Caleb shows up is when I think things start turning around for the season. And I may be very biased because I fucking love Nathan Fillion. But Caleb is awesome. So Caleb is like the first evil's right hand. So he's sort of like a twisted, psychotic priest, which is not weird. And he's proper creepy. Like, not like, oh, keep me up at night, scary, give me nightmares, creepy, not that. It's Buffy, you know? But he is a good villain. And I really think that there's a lot of untapped potential in Caleb. A lot. I really think that if they would have invested in Caleb more, you know, we could have gotten a big bad as menacing and as terrifying as Glory. But they didn't really fully commit to Caleb. They also killed him too quickly. So I think it's a huge missed opportunity for season 7 with Caleb. Like, they really could have, they missed something in Caleb. But so yeah, Caleb basically kills potentials. He really likes doing it as well. And he's just scary. He just works as a villain. And God, this is going very badly. Yeah. So at one point, Faith comes back. And Angel comes back. And well, let's do Angel first. So Angel comes back and he brings this amulet. Oh. So there was a brief interruption. And it's looking more and more like this take is not going to make it, but I want to finish it anyway. Just in case I really don't get to film for a long time. Okay. So Angel shows up because, you know, obviously Angel always knows when there's a dark power about to rise in Sunnydale. And he shows up with this jewel, an amulet that is supposed to be worn by a champion, whatever, but it's clear that it's important to defeat this big bad. But he leaves again, and Faith shows up. Faith is recovered from being evil and, walking the good path. And she's just there to help out. But so all of these people there, and it's all, it's difficult. Buffy is waging a battle with evil, basically, and she has difficult decisions to make. And with one of the decisions she makes, there are some important casualties. So I think some potentials die. Xander loses an eye. I think someone else breaks something. Some of the potentials get hurt. And so morale is kind of affected by that, and people start really doubting Buffy's leadership now, whereas they were just kind of complaining and just having, it just full on leads to mutiny at this point. Fucking Kennedy. I know it's not Kennedy's fault, but it's just fucking Kennedy. And basically they're all like, this is not working for us, maybe someone else should get a turn. And Buffy's just like, no, and doesn't really want to entertain this madness. But even Xander and Willow and Giles and everyone is not willing to back her up, which is no surprise because this is completely in character for all of them if you look at the past seasons. So they vote and elect Faith their new leader, which Faith did not ask for, but it's not like she backed Buffy up, but she also didn't want to be leader, but she ends up being leader. So Buffy leaves alone into Sunnydale. Sunnydale has been evacuated because things are not going well in Sunnydale, so all the houses are empty, well, most of them, and she goes to a house. Does she kick someone out of their house? I don't remember, but she ends up in a house somewhere in a bed, alone, crying, probably. Spike is gone at this point. Why is he gone? He's gone. But so Spike comes back to the house, where he realizes that there was a mutiny and everyone just threw Buffy under the bus. And he lands some choice remarks. I think it's a very strong scene. And so I have a lot of trouble with the Spike redemption arc, and that's a big part of why I'm leaving out his side plot entirely. But I will get into it a little when I'm discussing the characters. But in these last 3 episodes, a big part of me just wants to forget everything that happened. And again, we have the season 7 duality because I don't want to. And I feel like it's all created to make you forget and make you forgive and make him the hero after all that he did, which is so incredibly problematic. And it's so problematic that I want to buy into that and just enjoy these last episodes, which I do, but I don't, you know? So there's a lot of contradictory emotions and feelings and thoughts existing side by side for me in this season. But anyway, so that scene where Spike gets back and he just fucking chews them all out and then he fights Faith. I love it. I love it. And, you know, I guess that is sort of the point where I just have to, I don't have to, but I want to kind of forget everything else and just see at what he does from then. It's difficult. So he does all that and then he goes to find Buffy and he finds her in the abandoned house. This is in the episode Touched, and it's touching, and it's difficult, and I am annoyed at the show for making it this. I don't want to, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful scene, and this is I talked about this in season 6, and this is why I feel that Seeing Red and his actions in Seeing Red, the show just really made a mistake, and it just didn't fit. It doesn't fit his character. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't. And it just needs to go. It just needs to be sliced out and go. And then everything works. But if it's in there, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This scene doesn't work. This speech doesn't work. Her asking him to stay and hold her doesn't work. And I want it to work. I want it to work. It's well written. It's well acted. It's beautiful. But it doesn't work. So, yeah, duality. Anyway, so it's a beautiful scene, it's a beautiful episode, beautiful moments. Obviously, Faith is not cut out for this job. She's not, which isn't strange. Buffy in season 1 wouldn't have been cut out for this job either. And Buffy has had the chance to learn and grow and make mistakes and harden herself, and she has so much experience. She's been preparing for this, she has had this whole path leading up to this. So Buffy is ready for this. Faith is not. Faith has not had any opportunity to prepare for this. So it's not weird that Faith isn't cut out for the task. No one should resent her for that, or it's not like she offered herself up as the leader. But so it doesn't work out. So Buffy ends up back in charge. I think in a confrontation with Caleb. It's so good. It's so fucking good. But I still wish there was more Caleb. So Buffy ends up back in charge, and then it's leading up to the finale. And this is fucking amazing. So they are formulating a plan to, head on to the seal of the Hellmouth, and they plan to just fucking go in there, just go in the Hellmouth and start killing Uberfamps and defend the school and basically, beat the first. But they have a secret weapon to do this. So, and we don't learn this for quite a while. We kind of see Buffy and Willow and them formulating this plan, but we don't know what it is yet until we know. And so they go to the high school, they split up. I love how, when they're in the high school and they're in the hallway and they split up, it's in the order that we meet them in the first episode, Welcome to the Hellmouth. And that's just one of those tiny little details that I fucking love about this show. And so basically Buffy takes all of the potentials into the seal, and then, Giles, Dawn, Anya, Xander, they all defend certain exits of the high school, and Willow and Kennedy, they go to enact the secret plan, the secret weapon. And so Willow has the scythe, is it a scythe? Which is this ancient slayer weapon which Buffy used to kill Caleb. And she is performing a spell with it. So she's performing the spell, and while she performed the spell, her hair goes white, and I love it. I love it. It's so silly. It's just stupid little small detail, but I fucking love it. How, we have Dark Willow with the black hair in season 6, and then her hair goes white in season 7. The finale, I love that. Though I personally have a lot of issues when black and white are represented as evil and good. Don't like it, hate it. But the hair thing, it works. Again, the duality. I love it, but I hate it. her hair turns white, and so what happens is she uses the power within the scythe and the Slayer bloodline to unleash the potential, to activate all of the power within all of these girls, not the potentials that are there, but the potentials around the world. And I am telling you, I am choking up right now, but whenever I see that little montage of all of these women, I have goosebumps right now. And I'm choking up and I'm tearing up. And whenever I see that montage of all of these women around the world just being imbued with this force from within, it's just so beautiful, and I just bawl my eyes out. And that image with the girl on the baseball field, it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And so we see all of these women all over the world becoming so strong. And all of these potentials as well. And so the potentials in the Hellmouth all get their Slayer powers, and then the battle can really begin, and it all just makes sense now. And Willow sends Kennedy off to hand the scythe to Buffy, to bring it to Buffy and to join the fight. And that's like kind of the only moment I can stand Kennedy. And so they fight, epic battle, but there's still just thousands of Turakan. You know, it's still clearly impossible to fight them all. And then we see what the amulet was meant for. And so Spike was in the Hellmouth fighting when the amulet starts burning him and starts glowing. And so he kind of ends up in a corner, and it just starts shining like the sun. And it starts burning all of these Uberfamps. And so it's clear that this is just gonna be an explosion of light that saves them all. But the Hellmouth is starting to rumble and crumble, and they need to get out of there. So everyone starts making their escape. And these final scenes are so hard to describe, and I don't have much time left on the battery on the light, so I'm gonna go for this short version. So Buffy and Spike end up being the last in the Hellmouth. Buffy wants him to come, but he says, no, I gotta see this through. Which is good, because the only redemption for a rapist is death. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm over it. No. And they do share a beautiful scene. Buffy says, I love you. Spike says, I know you don't, but thanks for saying. And they hold hands, burst into flame, and Spike tells Buffy to go, and she goes, and the amulet just brings forth this light that just destroys all the remaining Uber Famps and is gonna bring down the school. So everyone has to get out. Everyone that was defending the exits as well. This is where we discover that Anya did not make it. Which is okay. Short version. I'll talk about that when we talk about characters. And basically, they all get into the school bus and leave. And Buffy was last to leave Spike, so it's a question of, is she going to make it? She's literally outrunning the explosion, and she does, and she manages to jump on the bus as it is leaving. And so they keep driving, because it's not just the school that's destroyed this time, it is the town. It's the town. And so they keep driving, outrunning this explosion, as Sunnydale becomes just a crater. And they get out of the bus on the edge of the crater, the Scoobies, just the Scoobies, and they stand there and they have this incredible just moment that is just encapsulates the entire vibe of the show. And then we see the Sunnydale, welcome to Sunnydale sign, just kind of like creak and fall into the crater. And it's just fucking genius. The whole thing is fucking genius. It's just so well made, and I love the ending. It's so beautiful. And even though I have so many issues with this season, so many, like you have no idea, because I left out all of the side plots that have most of my issues. It is still such a beautiful ending, and I was so pleased with how they ended it. Thankfully, because it really fucking sucks when you love a show so much and they botch the ending. That's just horrible. It's just evil. And so the ending was beautiful. So season 7 sucks, but they still really nailed it. They stuck the landing, so. Okay, we'll see if this is the take that makes it. It might very well be, to be honest, because it's not easy to film. It's not easy to do this again, just because it's not the best. At this point, I really can't be bothered by that. So this may very well be the take that you see, in which case I do apologize. I do apologize, but it is what it is. Okay, I'll be talking about the characters and some episodes next time. If you do have any questions still, ask them now, or start thinking about them so you can ask them. No, ask them now, because it's pretty likely that. No, I don't know. Ask them when you want to. And I'll see if I can still use them in the concluding videos. Okay. Thanks for listening.